Hey guys, this is Matt here, Chelsoph update 9. It's been absolutely ages since the last one, I think well over a month, so apologies for my radio silence on this front at least. We've had a massive intake of new members in the Facebook group, which is fantastic, and so welcome to everybody, those who are listening obviously. It probably makes sense for me to sort of explain, why I built this group, where I think we're going, and what our key sort of mission is really. And to that end, I actually put together some sort of like a mission statement, and I'll share that on the Facebook group. But it's essentially it's about sort of promoting the virtues of reason and philosophy and sort of right thinking, if you like. And that's not to say that there are specific conclusions we expect. It's not about right conclusions. It's about the right approach to solving complex problems, both personal, spiritual, social, scientific, philosophical. Reason is something that we can all sort of do together. We might reach different conclusions, but we're united by that thing alone. There are good reasoners and bad reasoners. I'd like to think I'm at least maybe average, or maybe that's an aspiration too far for me. But humility is important as well. I think some of my favourite thinkers always show humility. So take Hoffman. He declares at the outset that this is just a theory. It's probably wrong. Most scientific theories in the past have been shown to be, well, not wrong, but just merely stepping stones towards a more refined view. Okay. So, I hope that makes some kind of sense. I will share the list of sort of values, if you like, on our mission statement. Evelyn's going to do a bit of proofreading on it and revise it, because there's probably some quite lazy English in there, so that should tighten things up a bit, which is cool. In terms of the channel itself and guests and so on and so forth, so remarkably and amazingly, Stephen Wolfram, I've heard from his kind of admin team. God, I wish I had an admin team. That they've given me a couple of dates, so I just need to select from those dates. One's late July and one is early August, so I'm probably erring on the side of early August at this stage, just to give me some breathing space. And that's probably one of the reasons why you've not heard an update for some time, because there's been a few challenges, shall we say, in my personal life, and work is still going wild. Really, still trying to predict what's going to happen to our patients in Tower Hamlets, London, UK. So I'm sort of pulled in quite a lot of different directions. So this has sort of had to take a bit of a back burner. I've got this database of my guest management database, and I have like a timer on there. So it's sort of I have a target date, and then I do today minus that. So I think I'm like minus 50 days on some of my actions where I need to chase guests and get them, try and get them booked and so on and so forth. So, the whole thing has slipped a little bit. But that's cool. This was never intended to be a kind of total full-time thing. It's I'm doing this kind of for fun and to make friends. I think in the very, very early days, if anyone's seen the extremely amateurish videos I did early on, it was I was quite honest and sort of said, look, I'm feeling a bit lonely here, because there are a number of people in my social life that I could have discourse with about some of these matters, but very few, to be honest. And I've often found in my life actually that quite a lot of people around me ask me to quit this stuff and sort of stop overthinking things, and you think too much. And so it's great to kind of find that there is this community out there, and this is why the web is such a fantastic gift to us, really, that we can seek out sort of like-minded people, whether we have the same opinions or isms or political dispositions and so on. That one thing, that kind of sense of mystery or wonder, that that desire to try and bring some sort of clarity to our understanding of the world and ourselves. And that's a beautiful thing, and it's great to be involved with all you guys, and it's a privilege to have you on the team. So what else have we got? So yeah, also in terms of other guests, got quite an interesting one. So a previous colleague of mine from many moons ago, we worked at an NHS trust called Barnet and Chase Farms Hospital in Enfield, sort of North London. And I have to say this, but where we were technologically or technology-wise on the business intelligence reporting, data analysis front, we were ahead of where I am now in this other trust. And this was 20 years ago, right? So we had nurses filling out care plans and risk assessments, and also the incident logs and stuff, so slips, trips, and falls, and so on and so forth. And we had them filling these out, directly into our database, right? And then we'd have these automated reports that showed the relationship between improved care planning and actual outcomes, and the correlation was there. So if we do our risk assessments properly and we do our care planning properly, we're going to have fewer incidents and never events. These never events are like something that happens, something that's so bad that it should never happen in a hospital. So, a patient being left without medication, or a patient being left unattended for longer than they ought to be, and so on. And so we built this system, and it was absolutely fantastic. So they're able to sort of track their, care quality. It wasn't just about kind of, hard and fast sort of clinical outcomes. It was about the quality of the journey as well, because it's not just about whether they can be fixed by a doctor or surgeon. It's about whether they can be healed, right, by the nursing team. And that for me is sort of 80% of the task. Kind of you think about, it's like fixing a broken leg is actually a mechanical. Is it any more complicated than fixing a head gasket on a car? I don't think so. But actually nurturing someone to a state of mental and sort of spiritual and physical well-being, now that is something. So I want to talk to Natasha Phillips. Her name is Professor Natasha Phillips. So she fits in very nicely with the previous guests, who are all professors or assistant professors and doctors and so on. And I want to talk about the use of, she's an extremely renowned figure in sort of British healthcare. She's working with, some quite serious organisations, put it that way, and is extremely well regarded. So, I'm very, very excited to talk to Natasha. We've actually got a date pinned down, but I'll release that soon. And we're going to talk about AI and data science and healthcare, and the philosophy of healthcare, also women in healthcare. So it's a sort of feminist bent to some of this, and it's sort of dotted lines to some of the things that I talked to Inez Hippolito about. I'm beginning to see convergences across all of these disciplines. So here we have someone who's a professional caregiver, right, who now consults in this space to try and improve services and improve outcomes for patients and so on. Potentially joined up with serious kind of philosophers and neuroscientists and so on and so forth. This picture is a picture of convergence. And just as Chris Fields was saying in a recent interview, in some sense there are no real dividing lines between all these disciplines, right? The more layers we peel back, the more perhaps kind of uniformity of ideas across all the disciplines. So, echoes of Carl Friston's free energy principle being this kind of unifying language that can be deployed in literally any system, whether it's psychology, biology, physics, and this is really exciting stuff. So, so I've got a couple of guests with actual dates. Well, sort of one with two possible dates and one with a fixed date. Still got a few who are kind of interested but not booked. Joshua Bach actually sort of said yes a few weeks ago. Then he went to the the philosophy festival thing, How the Light Gets In. I was going to go there, by the way, but I wasn't very well. He said before that we can probably sort a date out. So Joshua Bach is in the back pocket, should we say? So that's really cool. Arlindo's site just seems to be gathering pace all the time. And he spoke to this a Galloway guy, the one about lucid dreams. This is a published figure and very renowned figure. He's involved in psychology. Again, we're getting to talk to these really sort of respected figures, and we're building this community. Any questions or ideas, suggestions for the stuff? Indeed, people that think that they'd like to perhaps have a go at being on panels or doing an interview or being interviewed. Let's get you into the limelight. We're here to promote ideas and spread a word of reason, right? So I think that's possibly enough. Is there anything I haven't said yet? Please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. I mean, if any of you are still listening, which is very unlikely, I can see the average duration of viewing duration on these videos. It's really cool. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, there's going to be another Chelsoph social. I had to can the last one just for unforeseen circumstances, and unfortunately, Jamal from BBC Radio turned up. And I thought he was actually in the Facebook group, but he isn't. So I was a bit gutted about that. So it's good that I'm still talking to the BBC. I think there may be a chance of, making another appearance. You don't appear on radio. Old joke. But that would be cool as well. And maybe with some sort of aspirations to get on TV and, really start spreading the word of philosophy and get people, get it back into living rooms, right? And try to tackle some of the bullshit that we're facing these days from all areas, right? So have fun, enjoy the sunshine if you're in Britain or elsewhere. You've probably got sunshine as well. We generally don't have it. And I'll speak to you soon. Okay, bye.